What is up, YouTube? I'm back with another deck. Today we got Odion. If you're new to my channel, I like to build anime themed decks using cards found on the 2011 World Championship Yu-Gi-Oh game, because that is the game I play. I'm not going off any ban list. My decks are mainly designed to be played against each other for back and forth duels. That's how I balance them. So if I'm not running like 3 copies of a certain card, that's why. Alright, so now I'm gonna go over the strategy. You have two different engines. You have the Gravekeeper's engine, the Grave Shutdown engine, and then you have your Trap Monster. And so I'll go over the Trap Monster first because it was the main one he used in the anime. So you have these 3 trap cards. They are treated as monsters, and the Embodiment of Apophis is the main one he used in the anime. But to support them, I threw in Tiki Curse and Tiki Soul. Tiki Curse, when it's treated as a monster, if another trap card that is also treated as a monster battles an opponent monster, you destroy that opponent's monster. With Tiki Soul's effect, when a trap card that is treated as a monster would be destroyed by battle, you can set it instead. Another card that helps out with this strategy is Temple of the Kings. When a trap card is set, you can activate it during a turn. So if you activate Temple of the Kings, you can immediately summon these to tribute for any of your monsters, your tribute monsters that you want to summon. If, let's say, your opponent MSTs your curse, you can chain Tiki Soul and then immediately reactivate Tiki Soul. And it makes it pretty much immune to destruction. None of your trap monsters can be destroyed at all unless they destroy Tiki Soul first. And let me see, let's say Wildest Shooters, if another trap card you control would be destroyed by. So if you have 2 Tiki Souls, yeah, you're pretty much immune. Your trap cards cannot be destroyed at all. That is actually really broken. The Gravekeeper engine, you mainly just want to activate Necrovalley to prevent your opponent from using Graveyard. And because you don't run too many monsters, you can actually run Royal Tribute as well. Both players discard any monster cards in their hand. Get rid of all your opponent monsters, and you prevent them from bringing them back with Necrovalley. And if they have any effects that activate in the graveyard, you can summon End of Anubis. All this card is face up on the field. All effects of spell, trap, monster cards that target cards in the graveyard or activate in the graveyard are negated. You also have a Cat of Ill Omen, which can search any trap card while Necrovalley is on the field, allowing you to set up this block. Now I'm just gonna go over each card. So you have a Cat of Ill Omen. It has a flip effect. When it's flipped, you can choose one trap card in your deck, either place it on top of the deck, or if Necrovalley is on the field, you can add it to your hand. You then got Gravekeeper's Commandant. You can discard this card, add Necrovalley to your hand. You then got Mystical Beast Serket. If you do not control Temple of the Kings, this card is destroyed, but when it destroys opponent monster by battle, banish it, and it gains 500 attack. And you got End of Anubis. All this card is face up. All effects of spells, traps, and monster cards, target cards in the graveyard negated. Very powerful. Then we got Dark Hole. It destroys all monsters on the field, just a generic board wipe. You got Necrovalley. All Gravekeeper monsters gain 500 attack. Cards in the graveyard cannot be banished. Negate any card that would move a card in the graveyard to a different place. Negate any card effect that changes types or attributes in the graveyard. Royal Tribute. If you control Necrovalley, both players discard any monsters in their hand. Like I said, you don't have too many monsters, so this is really powerful. Next we have Swords of Revealing Light. For 3 turns, your opponent cannot declare an attack. It also flips off face down, monsters face up, and it's destroyed during your opponent's 3rd end phase. Next we got Temple of the King. You can activate 1 trap card the turn it was set. You can send 1 Mystical Beast Serket in your monster zone and this card to the graveyard to special summon 1 monster from your hand or deck, or 1 fusion or extra deck. So you can pretty much summon Anubis with it, or you can go into either one of these, Odion didn't use these, I just throw them in so that you had some more targets for Temple of the King. Next we got Bottomless Trap Hole. When a monster is summoned with 15, destroy that monster and then banish it. Next we got Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell. When a spell card is activated, discard one spell, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. And if you do that, your opponent cannot activate spell cards with that name for the rest of the turn. You don't have too many spells in this deck, but you might brick and like have Royal Tribute but no Necrovalley. You can then discard it. If you want, you can actually run, is it Magic Jammer? So you can Odion, I believe Odion actually used Magic Jammer. I just threw this in because I wanted his deck to be a powerful trap deck, and this is better than Magic Jammer because it prevents your opponent from activating for the rest of the turn. So if they need the spell for their strategy, you essentially like stop their whole strategy. Next we got Trap Jammer. When your opponent activates a trap during the battle phase, negate the activation. So this is only a battle phase trap negate to give you some protection for your Serket and your so we got Curse of Anubis. Change all effect monsters on the field to defense position until the end of the turn. The defense becomes 0 and their battle position cannot be changed. So if your opponent has monsters that Tiki Curse can attack over, or you know these guys can attack over, of course you can use it, but I think it's only really meant to be used with Apophis because Apophis doesn't get changed. Next we got Judgment of Anubis. When your opponent activates a spell card that would destroy a spell or trap on the field, discard one card, negate the activation, and if you do destroy it, then you can destroy one face-up monster your opponent controls, and if you do that, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's attack on the field. This protects your Temple of the Kings, because if Temple of the Kings is destroyed, your Serket gets destroyed. Serket. Next we got Dimensional Prison. When your opponent monster declares an attack, you just banish it. Or it does target though. Next we got Dust Tornado. Target one spell or trap card. Destroy that target. You can then set one spell or trap card from your hand. Next we got Embodiment of Apophis. It's treated as a normal monster, Earth Reptile, level 4, 16 attack, 18 defense. Next we got Half Counter, going damage calculation. If a monster you control is being attacked, target that monster you control. That target gains attack equal to half the original attack of the attacking monster. So this is because your monsters pretty much are low attack. All have pretty low attack. They can't really attack over anything. So this is just for protection. Next we got Mirror Force. Destroy all attack position monsters when your opponent declares an attack. Next we got Solemn Judgment. When a monster would be summoned, a spell trap card is activated. You can pay half your life points to negate and destroy it. Next we got Tiki Curse. When it's activated, it is treated as an effect monster, rock type, dark, level 4, 18 attack, 1000 defense. While it's treated as an effect monster, if a trap card you control patrols, battles an opponent monster, destroy that opponent's monster after damage calculation. Finally we have Tiki Soul. When it's activated, you special summon it as an effect monster, rock type, light, level 4, 1000 attack, 18 defense. While it's treated as an effect monster, if another trap you control that's treated as a monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can set it instead of sending it to the graveyard. You can set it in your spell and trap card zones. Next we have Dark Balter the Terrible. A fusion summon can only be conducted with the above fusion material monsters. When a normal spell card is activated, you can negate it by paying 1000 life points. The effect of effect monster destroyed by battle is negated. So it also has like a Necrovalley, Anubis like effect where when it destroys your opponent monster, they can't activate any effects. But you're mainly using it to prevent your opponent from activating normal spells. When you have Temple of the Kings and Serket on the field, You can summon them, and you can also summon Fiend Skull Dragon, and his effect is a fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above materials, but negate the effects of flip effect monsters, negate any trap card effects that target this card, and if you do destroy the trap card. The opponent playing a flip monster deck, you can just negate their flip monsters. And now let's get to these honorable mentions. The Winged Dragon Raw. Odion used a fake copy of the Winged Dragon Raw. He was pretending to be Merrick. If you want, you can run it. I just chose not to because it's like a brick. He also used a gold sarcophagus like card, but this card is kind of irrelevant because I have Cat of Ill Omen. So if you're choosing not to run the Necrovalley engine, you know, it would be great to include these two. You also have Gravekeeper's Chief. You can only control one chief, but your graveyard is unaffected by Necrovalley. When you tribute summon, you can target one Gravekeeper monster a graveyard and special summon it. So mainly with him, the only reason you will run him is so that you could activate these two cards. A monster reborn, which allows you to special summon monster from your graveyard. And then your Mask of Darkness, when it's flipped, you can add a trap card in your graveyard back to your hand. If you want to get rid of like the End of Anubis for whatever reason, you can replace him with Gravekeeper's Chief. You could probably get rid of some of the Ill Omen cats for Mask of Darkness, or I don't know, however you want to run it. And finally, we got Magic Jammer. You can substitute Curse of Forbidden Seal because this requires you to discard a spell card. And you have 11 spells, so you should have them, but your spells are really important, so you could just run Magic Jammer. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed.